Clap, 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 clap. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It is our favorite day here at the Connected Corner. It's International Women's Day.
Yeah.
It's Beehive Connected Group Day. It's Relationship Day. We're still talking relationships. It's been an amazing season. I'm your girl, Tori Rose, the connector. And who do I have the honor of hosting with?
A phenomenal woman.
Mm,
It's me, Kiana B.
yes.
I just made that
like
up just that. I just did that right there.
You did
I
that.
freestyled. I
I
freestyled.
love it. A phenomenal woman. It's me, Kiana B. Go ahead, get your t-shirt line up, sis. Get it ready. So listen, guys, we are so excited. We thank everybody who's been with us this season as we've gone from dating to love gurus and coaches. We talked to a sexpert last week who had us hot and steamy, and every time she said sex, we had to drink, and I went through 3 bottles of water. That's how much sex we talked about. Oh my goodness. So all of that. And then we get to talk about balance.
Yes.
And so, guys, we are so excited and we are grateful that you are with us. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please do so. Go to youtube.com, type in the Connected Corner. Make sure you hit subscribe and follow. And what else should they do? Ring that what?
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding,
The
ding.
bell.
Ring that bell. You make sure you ring that bell so you can get alerted when we go live. We go live on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, we're just so excited. Are you excited?
I am super excited.
I am super excited. I wore my executive senator dress. You see?
I was like, should I put on? I was gonna put a blazer on.
That's okay. You look like the executive as well. But I felt like I want to look like the senator. You know, growing up, we wanted to be teachers. We did that. Check. When I got to college, I was like, I want to be a politician. I ran for office. Then I met Senator Robinson. I was like, I want to be a senator. And so anybody who is still out here like, what do you mean you want to be? You're not grown up? No, we're never done growing. And tonight's guest is going to help us just really understand what that journey looks like and what that development looks like. And before we bring her on, there's a couple of people we want to say thank you and shout out. Kiana, you want to go ahead and shout out our partners?
Yeah, so we want to shout out our partner over at Radio on Fire Television, Mr. Diamond K. And you can check him out on the Diamond K Show. You can check out all the different podcasts and things on his platform, his new music, and you can also check out the Connected Corner over there as well. So we want to give a shout out and make sure you're following Radio on Fire on YouTube and on your social media channels.
Make sure you are doing that. You do not want to miss it. You get news and resources you can actually use. So listen, don't have a dry night. Y'all make sure you are putting your comments in. When we were talking ratchicities, y'all were commenting, y'all were live in effect. So you make sure that you are asking questions. We're talking about relationships, the balancing act, God, family, business. Tell us what order those things come in. Tell us, you know, do you prioritize your business over religion? Do you prioritize your children or family over your business? Kiana and I are business owners. This balancing act has been interesting.
To say enough.
To say the least.
Like the business, I definitely, you know, even thinking about the show, and I said I'm gonna have to try not to call her mother tonight, but thinking about the show and you know, just knowing how phenomenal and this Women's History Month and history she made. So, you know, for me, it was like, how'd she do all this? Like, I thought I was doing something. I made like a little tiny inkling of a mark in the business world, but I am just amazed all the time. So it's like, I want to be a businesswoman like her. I just want to be like her. Okay.
Baby, that's the realest. So tell us really quick before we bring our guest on, how many years have you had a business? I think most people don't even understand how seasoned, I'm not going to say the O word, but how seasoned you are. So how many years have you had your own business?
Officially since I was 24.
Okay. So how many years was that? Carry the one.
So 18. Oh my goodness, how many years is that?
22.
22. Thank you. I you know what happens? I can't believe I'm that old, so I can't calculate that young. Like I don't feel like I've lived that long. So now I don't
Right.
feel old, but I also don't feel like I lived that long.
Right.
So like I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. It can't
Yeah.
be 20
It can't be
anything.
more than 20. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
Most certainly.
it can't be more than 20. Oh, it
Most
is more than
certainly.
20. Yeah.
If anybody's out here listening, you have a business, drop your business in the comments. We want to know all about the business that you have. Put your name, put your hashtags, put your @ so we can follow you, because this is Women's History Month. And this is also, it's just history. Like
Yeah.
Black history for us doesn't stop in February. So if you are listening, you're watching, make sure you drop your business information here, because we want to stay connected to you guys as well. Do you remember when I started my first business and I didn't even know I had a business?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I was like, I got a hobby. You were like, but you get paid for it. And I was getting paid good too. I was like, yeah,
Yes.
I like to do it. You
Yeah.
like, it's a network marketing. I'm like, no, it's not. It's
Right.
candles.
That is
You
the
like,
funniest. I tell that story to everybody, especially people who want to get in it, because if you're doing something you enjoy, like MLM is not bad. It's not horrible. Like you can really learn a lot. And if you're doing it right and you're enjoying it, you don't feel like it's work. And if you're Tory Rose, you don't even know that you actually have a business.
didn't even know. Listen, we'll be on vacation with my son. We were in Ocean City. I'm having $500 and $600 days in Ocean City. But the testimony for me was how God will just throw you forward into entrepreneurship sometimes, and you don't even realize it. And so, really quickly, I started working with a company called Scentsy. Scentsy is a wickless candle company, but I started working on it because I had a very new baby who almost burned himself on a Grand Canyon candle. And so I was looking for non-flame alternatives. I found this company. I knew a bunch of other moms. I started sharing the information and selling it with them. And the next thing I knew, I was like a D3 tier, such and such and such and such, and making residual income off my hobby. And so I shared that to say, today, here I am now. Hey, Eric, tell us about your business. Drop your information in the chat. We're about to bring our guest on, but we want to hear from the other business owners who are watching tonight. So here I am now. He's no longer a baby. 13 years later, my business, Theo, just celebrated 5 years yesterday. Now, this is a business I'm fully aware that I have. But those, 12, 13 years of that entrepreneurial experience of getting it right sometimes and getting it wrong a lot more times, right? And then still just being consistent and persistent in this world of entrepreneurship. And so without further ado, guys, y'all put your virtual hands together. I want to introduce the amazing and awesome retired Senator Barbara A. Robinson. Her bio is a Bible you want to swear by. So we will also post it later so you guys can read all through. So Barbara's service to the state of Maryland, to women, and to the African-American community began in 1966. My mama wasn't even born. When the integrated the restrooms in the Maryland court system, she successfully had the laws changed solutions that prevented women from wearing slacks to work in the Maryland judicial system, and changed the laws that prohibited Black women from wearing natural hairstyles to work. If y'all don't know this woman, if you don't know Mother, you need to drop Queen Mother in the chat and say thank you. I mean, just serving the people. She continued to provide then training to low-income employees. That began when she developed and implemented training programs for court employees of the police department, did therapy, all kinds of things. Let me, not to shorten it, but 80 years wouldn't touch the things that Mother has done. Queen Mother, let me tell you. Listen. Well, child, let me get myself together because I get excited. I'm a groupie, just so y'all understand. Barbara developed the curriculum, administered the program, secured the instructors, and engaged the Community College of Baltimore to provide credits for her program. The Sun paper called Barbara's program the first in the nation. What? How many first in the nation do y'all know? Y'all know any first in the nation? I don't. So let me go on, though, because it gets meteor, and she's gonna be like, girl, she's gonna hire me to do her bio. She has gone on. She left the court system, went to Africa. Using the curriculum she developed, she provided entrepreneurship training to African women in Lusaka, Zambia. You know how many shots you need to go to that? Okay, I'm gonna digress. She returned to the unemployment check and used her unemployment check as startup capital. She founded her first company. Within 15 years, she founded 3 additional. God, mother, I don't even want y'all to talk to her. I need her all to myself. For 12 years, she hosted a weekly radio talk show on WEAA, Morgan State University's radio station. On the show, which she called the Business Reach Out Forum, Barbara Robinson interviewed guests and engaged in conversations with thousands of listeners. Okay, I'm just giving y'all bits and pieces because I would be here for 2 hours. Like she did the thing. Okay, let's go on. Let's go on. She currently has her own podcast and show called Straight Talk with Barbara A. Robinson. Check it out on Thursdays if you're not already subscribed. Let's go on. Let's go on. She is the author of 10 books. How many, Kiana?
10. That's my number. 10.
10. Okay. Books. That's a divine number. Half of y'all can't even read, but it's okay because this is where you get news and resources you can use. You're going to get these books and you're going to level your stuff up. 10 books with 7 already published and number 8 to be launched later this year. The University of the District of Columbia in Washington, D.C. uses excerpts of her business book in their business school. I need y'all to understand, I haven't even touched about her political I can't. Just bring Mother on. Mother, you're going to have to answer the questions. We're going to just ask you questions. Put your virtual hands together because it's so much of a meaty bio that I would spend another 2 hours, rightfully so, giving you your kudos. Welcome to the Connected.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. All my cheering.
We love you.
Yeah.
We are impressed by you.
Oh, bless your heart. And actually, my 9th book just came out last week. My 9th published book. I've actually written 21 books, but this is the 9th that's been published. So I've been writing for so many years. So I'll probably release another book. Well, I know I will before the end of this year, and another one the first of the year. I'll release at least 2 or 3 books a year. So I can get these 21 out. I had said that I wanted to write at least 30 books before I leave this world.
My God.
So I never had changed, but I love it now.
You said you're at 21.
Mm-hmm. And when I say 21, 21 that I've already started on the computer. And I don't mean 4 or 5 pages. I mean 200 pages, 300 pages, 400 pages, etc., etc. I mean, I listed names of what the books will be called. And so I just go in, and I let this one go. As I said, I have been working on this for a while. And this is a collection of short stories that I grew up in Alabama in the South during the time when after you have supper dishes washed, you go outside and the elders of the village would tell ghost stories to us children. We sit there and we listen to them, and they would talk about the stories that their grandparents told them back in the day. And my grandmother in Alabama used to do the same thing, so these are collections of stories, and I call them patches because my grandmother used to make quilts, and her quilts, she would give them different names, the wedding ring, the whatever, the family, because she would make them of different cloths or pieces of material that she'd get from the white folks that she'd wash for $1.25 a day. They would pay her for a load of washing. And then she also used to make them, back in the day, they used to sell chicken feed and hog feed in sacks that had different pictures on it. I mean, they were beautiful. And so my grandmother used to take those sacks after they're empty and make clothes out of them, for us and for my mother, etc. And so she used some of those, and that's why I call patches.
Can we see it? Yes. Show it to us. Hold it up again, Mother. We are going to call you Mother on this show. And we might even call you Queen Mother because that is how we feel about you.
Sounds good to me.
And we love that idea. So patches, even how they intertwine and connect in a quilt, is what Kiana and I are attempting, and I feel like we are doing with the Connected Corner. So how we look at the Connected Corner is like a beehive,
Mm-hmm.
and every honeycomb is connected. So every guest who comes on has a story. The stories are interwoven, and it builds a village or a community. And so we love that. Please make sure that we get the information before the show is up so people can buy your books. They know the websites or how to get connected with you. I have 2 of your books, and I will tell you, I'm always impressed at how you're at a different place of life than I am, but you still connect to me. So you are patchwork all in this stuff. So we just give you kudos.
You know, that's because my books are my patches. My
Mm,
books are my life. Um, and I never really made the connection. I just write. You know, I've
mhm,
been writing since I was I wrote my first play in the 8th grade.
mm.
Um, I started writing when I was in the 6th grade, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
You know, I had a column in the paper that I developed in high school. So I used to write to heal because if you read my first book, you see all of the turbulence in my past, you know, from my stepfather and my mother, and et cetera, et cetera. So I used to write to heal, to get away, to escape. And I did, you know, and
Yeah.
that's where my writing took me.
Wow.
Um, and then, and I write about, in one of my books, Through It All, I think it is,
Mhm.
you talk about the court system. When I started, can you believe it? And this is in the 1966, that I'm fighting for women to be able to wear slacks to work
Mhm.
in 1966.
Mm, mm, mm.
And writing for Black people to be able to use the restroom in the court system in
My goodness.
Maryland
My goodness.
in 1966.
My God.
And that's why they called me a militant and all those other things.
Mhm. Radical. So
Oh,
wait, I want to stop you for one second. I want to pull you forward a little bit because there was something that I negated to talk about in your bio, and I want to start there so we can understand. We've heard now 6th grade Barbara writing, starting a paper. We've heard in the 60s, but now we want to see how you balanced over those years, right? So 2006, you were elected House of Delegates. Is that correct?
mhm,
You spent 10 years in the state delegate of Maryland. You
mhm,
worked on the Appropriations Committee. And then in 2016, you were appointed by Governor Larry Hogan into a seat in the Maryland Senate. So
mhm,
that makes sense, right? To people who don't know much about politics, that's
mhm.
what they think we do anyway. We just jump around. But talk about this 800 million. I don't often see those numbers coming forward from people that, especially we know, people who look like us, black women, mothers, wives. You directed $800 million to small businesses, minority and women businesses. Can we talk about what that really means and what kind of impact can $800 million have on women in business?
You know, the reason that I joined the race for a seat in the House of Delegates is because there was so much discrimination in the healthcare industry in Maryland for Black businesses. Of almost 200 and something individuals in Maryland who had lucrative contracts in the healthcare area from DDA and Department of Health and Mental Hygiene and that whole all of that group. And so when there were only, and that's a whole story in itself of how we got there, but there were only 5 Blacks, and they tried to get us to merge into one. And when we all 5 met, we said, okay, if we did merge, who's going to be the president? Because every one of us fought like mad to get to where we were in our own business. And we weren't about to give it up because somebody comes in and said, merge. So we didn't merge. And they successfully, when I said they, I mean institutional racism, successfully closed down 2 of the 5. And that left 3 Black women. So then they came after Barbara Robinson. I've been fighting since I've been large enough to know what fighting is. So when they push me, I push back. So my attorney said, Barbara, we need somebody in Annapolis who understands minority business, because we don't have a Black woman in Annapolis who's been a business owner and can understand what's needed. So I jumped in the race. I had to spend my own money because nobody who was giving money to politicians knew anything about Barbara Robinson, because Barbara Robinson had spent most of her time, well, all of her time actually, fighting in welfare, fighting for welfare reform and fighting for the underdog and fighting for. These folks didn't know anything about Barbara Robinson, but folks from the street knew Barbara Robinson. Folks in corrections knew Barbara Robinson. Folks from welfare knew Barbara Robinson because Barbara Robinson used to be on welfare.
Okay.
Robinson used to live in the projects. So Barbara Robinson used to be on the street corners, so I can go there. When I taught in prison, I used to one up them every time they start. I said, look, I start telling about Quaaludes, Purple Haze. I ain't going there, but
Look,
yeah.
right. Don't even let them know. They can't handle that. They're not going to believe that, right?
And I went in fighting for minority businesses. And Wayne Frazier called me one morning and said that there is a meeting that's being held in Annapolis with the governor, and at that time it was Brown. What's his first name?
Anthony.
Anthony Brown. Uh, and they were leading the meeting about minority businesses. So I said, and they're supposed to start at 10, and this is about 7 when Wayne called me. And I said, Wayne, call Anthony and see if I can get in on the meeting. And I'm putting on my shoes and I'm heading out the door right now. So I
That's
went to
important.
Minneapolis and I walked in. Naturally, I'm the only one of my hue present. So, and the place is crowded. So when I walked in, and I love Anthony, when I walked in, he says, I see Delegate Robinson is here, and I think she would like to address you. He didn't have to do that because that was not on the program. So I stood there and I said, I know that you're not going to listen to me, but I went into my thing because a Black woman business owner who had a very lucrative contract with the BWI airport, the contract was taken away from her because the governor had started defining minority businesses as Emerge, Kennedy Krieger, the Arc of Maryland, and all of these. They're not minority businesses.
Yeah.
The blind industry, et cetera, et cetera. So when I went there and I told him, I said, I'm coming back every year until this bill passed, because the records, the data shows what a minority business is. It describes it, what a minority business is. A 501c3 that's 51% owned and operated, blah blah. Women, Native America, et cetera, et cetera. And they name the groups. White males ain't nowhere there. Kennedy Krieger and none of those others are nowhere there. They're not 501c3 nonprofits. And so, we went through that, and I put in a bill, House Bill 48, to say that they should not get contracts because they are not minority businesses. And it took me 5 years to get that bill through.
Wow.
Because it kept being defeated by white males.
So let's stop there. When you talk about that and looking at it, so putting that bill in place, and again, here at the Connectors Corner, we give news and resources you can actually use. And so I want people make sure that people caught that piece of understanding what minority business is. One, that you had a hand, and delegating, right? Look, he was a delegate, but delegating what that means in the state of Maryland. So those of us now,
Putting in regulations
yeah,
for
putting in the regulation for
the
it. For
legislation.
women now
Yeah,
who are now we're able to be a designee as a minority business. Now we are able to get,
right.
minority business, women, even status, like you can get that status for your business. It means contracts, it means money.
Mhm,
So in listening to that, I also realized you said, hey, they gave you 3 hours. It was 7 o'clock. This was at 10.
mhm,
Put your shoes on, you ran out. I'm
mhm.
assuming at that time you had family, you had things. How do you what does a good balance look like between work and family? Because when I heard it was 7 o'clock, it started at 10, you put your shoes on and you ran out.
Mhm.
My sister husband just asked her to join him in Vegas on a business trip a month from now. She like, the kids got activities, I can't go with you. So what does a good balance look like that you were even able to do that?
When
You
you're
had all
revved up
the
about
family.
something, when you are really sincere about doing something, and when you know that something needs to be done and it needs to be done right now, we can't say that we're working on this, it's going to be done next year. That's the reason it took me 5 years to get it through, because nobody had done anything about it before. And when they did try to do something about it, when someone would cut them down, they would leave it. To me, when somebody cut me down, it means go back and try again. you know so I didn't, anybody. And see, I didn't go to Annapolis to look for friends. I had friends before I got there. I went there to do a job, and I think I did one heck of a job. uh, because we were able to uh, get the monies. Because see, every time Governor O'Malley, bless his heart, I really did like him. You know, Anthony really, really worked with me. If it had not been for Anthony, this bill would have never gotten passed. Because Anthony used to come over and we would sit in my office until 9 and 10 o'clock at night, cutting down, we add this and take out this and research other bills that had been in before I got there. What can we use, et cetera, et cetera. And when it took, when every time O'Malley would say that they had given X amount of dollars to minority businesses, they were not going to minority businesses. They were going to minority business and to Kennedy Krieger and to Emerge and to all of those other organizations that employed hundreds and hundreds of people.
That's
So,
right.
you
So
know,
let me ask the question, and I am an Emerge graduate, so I will throw it out there because somebody's going to listen and say they don't like Emerge. We are talking facts. This is nothing about Emerge, anti-Emerge, or anti-Kennedy Creek. These are the facts, and we're never empowered unless we understand the path that took to get to progression. And so, because I already know I'll be getting a phone call tomorrow. Emerge, we love you, we appreciate what you do, but you're not a minority business. That is a fact. So, Mother, you said you were in.
Robertson, if anybody's been working in for the past 30 years.
Listen, you said you were in the office till 9 p.m. and probably later some nights. You consider yourself a workaholic? Do you think you're a workaholic?
When you're doing things that you love to do, it's not work. So, no, I don't think that I'm a workaholic. I think that if I have something that I really, really want to do, and if I like to do it, I'm going to stay there until it's done.
Got it. And that's an awesome answer. So, us millennials, we have to label everything, right? So I'm a millennial, that's my label. I'm a workaholic, that's my label. And, we've had this question, Kiana and I, people have asked us. So we're going to ask you, what advice do you have for anyone who thinks they're a workaholic? They love what they do and they're committed to it, but they also want to start a family, get married, have children. How do they do both?
Why not? I did.
Well, tell us how. Give us some tips and
You just do it. And there are no
like Nike, you just do it.
You just do it. You just do it. Anytime that I can have 4 babies in 1 year and still go on. When I say 4 babies, one born in February and a set of triplets born in November in the same year, and still went on. When people look at some of the things that I've done and how do you do it, you don't think about it. You just know that it's something that needs to be done, and you get out there and you do it. People may say that you're a workaholic. That's your idea who I am or what I am. I don't let that bother me, because if you're talking about what I'm doing, that means I'm on your mind. Hey, I'm on yours, but you're not on mine, you know. So, yeah, what do with 2 snaps up or whatever it is that Jerika's over here doing.
I
So
love it.
you just do it, and you know something, when a person uh, takes care of home, takes care of working, and then also going to school. It took me 18 years to get my bachelor's degree, because hanging in the streets and all the other things. Now, the other degrees, now I have a degree from Johns Hopkins University, University of Baltimore, Coppin State, etc., etc. And I just want to say that I'm still a student. Well, still, I just went back. I'm in Morgan's PhD program. Uh, and so all of those years they were not for naught, because what Morgan has done is allowing me to use my life experiences as as the requirements that I need. And they also waiving the tuition because of the things, So I've just been out here really earning, um, because to get a PhD is 36 hours beyond the master's. And I had done that, gotten 36 hours beyond the master's from Johns Hopkins University back in 1985. But, I just did not have time, or didn't take the time to go on and do my dissertation, because I was out here fighting these other folks. So now that I've retired, this is Barbara's time. This is me time, So that's the reason that I'm still out here now. And I want everybody, when you say 70s and 80s, you're just getting your second win. So you go back. I will never grow old, ever. I will age. I age every day, but I will never grow old.
I like that. I will never grow old. I'm going to say that.
And if I can just offer one thing, because somebody watching is saying, when is her birthday? Just so you all understand, this is the night of the air signs, okay?
The trifecta.
The trifecta is in here tonight. I'm an Aquarius, Kiana's a Libra, and Senator Robinson is a Gemini. If you don't know, now you know. 3 powerful air signs.
That's right.
I love that.
Because I live by, I'm not old. I mean, I'm, in my 40s, I'm inching up to 50. And I remember turning 40 and, my friends that may have turned 40 the year before, or it's comments like, yeah, this 40 is getting me. And I said, what does 40, do you know what 40 feel like? You never been at 40 before. So how you know what 40 feel like? You have told yourself this.
I got sweet shoes older than you. So
don't tempt me, because I'll be in your closet. Like,
but wait a minute. So I was going to say, I know you got them girls, but I don't care. I think here I'm gonna give Tori something, but I think we're a little more kind of like where you are, like how we like to dress and stuff. So you make sure I put claim to stuff. Now I know you're gonna be probably, you might outlive me, but just in case.
But I'm doing that now. I wish, who wears a size 9.5 or 10 shoe?
Well, I'm 9.5, and I have some Barbara Robinson exclusives. Tell Jerika, mind her business, because I know she over there running her mouth. Mind your business, Jerika, because listen, and the people don't be ready, because I step in those. They like, oh, who she thinks she is? Important. Okay, so yes, tell Jerika.
I was trying. They was a little. I was thinking if I put like a little shoe thing in it to make it stay on my foot.
I wish some of you could wear my clothes, because I was a fashionista.
You still are
in Annapolis every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to, go there now. I like dungarees and sweatsuits and things that I have not been able to do in years. So I have 6 closets. I really do. 6 closets of clothes that I really do need to. If somebody, there's no way I can send them to, was it Sunny Sup, whatever that. I pay too much money for them to be thrown in a pile.
I understand. So people listening tonight, because
Morg, I want to, before I forget it, I'm starting a mompreneur program at Morgan, in Morgan's business school. Uh, Not only have they asked me to develop the program, which I have done, it's going to be 7 days, but it's also, I'm going to teach the program. It's how to start and mind your own business. And I wanted to do that because I've met so many women, especially with the pandemic. You know, you've lost your jobs, you have great hobbies and other things, and I want to take that into the next phase and start your business. And I don't want to hear them say that they can't, because I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what about those, well, women or men? That's great, starting that program. And I listened to, I know part of your story is you use your unemployment, which a lot of people did during the pandemic, right? And that was a time for them to really go forward with starting their businesses. When you're trying to do that, we know if you want to do it, you're going to do it. You get it done because it's something you want to do.
Right.
But what about those women, and sometimes men who have mates or someone or a spouse that says, like, you work too much, like you're doing too much, you work too much? What inspiration, because maybe they don't have it yet to just do it, to really come forward and take part in your program and say, hey, I need to do this, but I have this spouse complaining that I'm already doing too much. What encouragement and what things, do you feel like they could do? Even a sweet talk. I'm like, how can they get that person on their side?
I don't think that, y'all not going to like this, but I'm just going to be me, because I went there, not only with business, but with school, you know, uh, and I can really tell you some things of, like, kick the door down and said, I think I'm all of this, and et cetera, et cetera. That woman has to believe in herself and her own capabilities. Now, I know that you want to please your spouse or your significant other, and I can understand that. But you first have to please you. If in order to please him, you have to you have to bypass your own self, then he wasn't for you in the first place. When I was building a business and I'm working full time, and well, when they kicked me out of the court, that's when I started building my own business. But when I wanted to go back to school, and my husband, he's gone now. He's deceased now. He's been gone for 15 years, but he and I were together for 47 years before he died. He never graduated from high school. Here I am with all of these degrees, and still ain't stopping yet. I had to get him to understand. I sat him down one day after he went through his his fit about me in school and me building a business, and he had the audacity to say that it's okay to declare bankruptcy. People will not look at you badly. I said, that's for them, that ain't for me. Failure is not an option for me. So when I wanted to to go into business and school, I didn't go to him. I sat my children down and I said, I just got my bachelor's. I want to go on to get my master's. I've been thinking for so many years about hanging out my shingle. When I said hanging out my shingle, I meant start my own business. And it's going to mean that I'm not going to be here every day to do dinner. I'm going to be late getting home. I just want to know, how do y'all feel about it? Jerika said, we already talked about that because we knew that you weren't going to stop. And how many of us, they said, how many of our friends can we say that our mother is in school, our mother's doing this, our mother so and so? So it won't be all the time. It will be until it's over. I just went in the bathroom and cried because these are my babies telling me that it's okay for me to go ahead and be me. So he had to go along with it. I mean, if I got the children on my side.
I love it. I'm empowered and I only have a husband, but I'm about to call somebody and say, hey, let me tell you something. My child is all right and God is all right. You're going to have to be all right. And then he goes,
Okay.
I'm sorry, who is this? Because, it's a fictional person. It's a call a person. But
So
listen,
she went to God first. She went to family. As they said, you could go ahead and take care of your business, Mom.
that's right.
Right.
Let
Because
me,
you know
I
what?
want to give a corny piece of
God first.
history. Mother, I want to give a corny piece of history real quick because I like corn and I like history. But so the phrase that you used, hanging out my shingle,
Mhm.
it started in in the 1800s. Did you know that?
No.
In the 1800s. And guess what line of work it was? It was for lawyers. When people wanted to become lawyers, they said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and hang out my shingle. And that was how you knew it was a law firm there. And then doctors started seeing the lawyers get business people off the street walking in. The doctors started hanging out their shingles, and then it just took on. And so, just a little corny history. 1800s, that's where that came from, and it started in the law field.
I had said that because my degree from Johns Hopkins was in counseling and education. So, I said I would hang out my shingles as a counselor. Um, that's not what I wanted to do. My dissertation that I'm working on now, it's from school dismantling. It's a case study dismantling the school to prison pipeline restorative practices. And it's Morgan's interdisciplinary organization policy development. This is their first year of that program, the first year. And there are 5 of us in that program, and they're calling us the inaugural cohorts. I said, that means that we're making history, you know. So what I'm saying is that young people need to do their thing, but older individuals don't ever say that you are too old to do anything if your mind says that you can still do it. I love where I am now.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, do you believe a relationship can last without quality time together? So now I didn't call my imaginary boyfriend and I didn't told him he got to wait because I didn't, I got all my stuff going on. But if I really had someone and there was someone here and I'm always gone, I'm always working, do you think that my relationship could last or any relationship could last without that quality time together?
That all depends upon your definition of quality time. Because if you are in a relationship and if your significant other sees that you enjoy working on this or whatever this, it's not going to stop you because that's your enjoyment. What he should do, what does he like to do? What makes him happy? So it's not the fact that you are taking time away from him, you're taking time for yourself. Now, there will be times when you have to carve out time. Maybe you go on a date night, not every week, maybe once a week. I mean, once a month or once every 2 months. I mean, every 2 weeks. It all depends upon what you want to do in your household. For me and mine, nobody dictates what I can or cannot or what I should do. You know, um, for a long time, as I'm going up through the system, uh, with all this training and all this education, and it looked like I was leaving my husband behind, but it wasn't. You know, he was comfortable in the back of the room selling my books while I'm on stage speaking to hundreds of people. And he used to travel with me. So he knew who he was.
So it makes sense. That's where Jerika got it from. That's where Jerika got it from. I was wondering, I said, where'd she get this background? And I told her, so just one day, if you come outside and there's cameras outside, I'm gonna just bring cameras and throw her in front of a camera and throw her out of her comfort zone. But it makes a lot of sense because she saw her dad being that supportive role. And we do send, still condolences. 15 years goes like this: when you love a person, you miss a person. So condolences to uh, the fact that you lost your husband and your children lost their father. But it makes sense. I was wondering. Tell her I see her. I can't see it, but I see her.
But I love it. I mean, like Tori said, well, first I was going to say, did he clone, or do we know if he came back for the second round to be Tori's husband? Because that's what's the problem is she don't have nobody, because she need somebody like your great husband. Because a lot of times, period, when you say that, much like why we got this trifecta going on right here with the three of us, the air signs, is pretty much for me, I got to the point that it was like, if you can't support, we just can't be together. If you don't understand it, we just can't be together. If you're going to complain, we just cannot be together. And so, I've had the history of men being in competition with me as opposed to loving and supporting me.
You have to do that. You're absolutely right. We were out one night, and we had gotten into this. I'm going back to my classes, or supposed to enroll the I don't know if it's next week or whenever. But anyway, my husband had said that I'm looking for something else, or I'm trying to leave this marriage, because he says, I'm satisfied with you and the kids, but you don't seem to be satisfied. And I said, I'm not with the way that things are. So then I let him go through all that stuff, and we stopped at this club, and he started drinking, and I let him go through all of that. So the next day, before I went to work, I said, let me tell you something. I said, I love you and I love my children. And I would like for our marriage to continue for as long as we both are alive. But before I met you, I promised my grandmother that I would graduate from high school, and I did. I promised me that I would graduate from college, and I intend to. Now, I like to do it. I would like for you to be in my life, but I will do it with or without you. And I have no intentions of letting anything on this earth stop me from that. And then I got up, put my clothes on, I went to work.
Amen. Amen. For Women's History
Month. And he started sticking out his chest harder than anybody else every time. That's my wife. Yeah, she doing so and so. So watch. You know what? I told you that she was going to do so and so. Now, that's my wife. Anytime, he was my biggest cheerleader. After I let him know that you're not going to stop me.
I love it. I love it. It is so important. Look, guys, this is the Connected Corner. In case you're just joining us, we are getting the business for real. Okay, we get into news and resources, and we are learning. It's International Women's Day. It's Women's History Month, and it's Women Hear Us Roar. Honestly, I say, even for men that's watching, it's not about, oh, you didn't support. Listen to, we call her mother, but Senator Barbara Robertson. Listen to what she's saying. She's giving you some tips too, man. Support your woman, support your lady, support your wife, because you look, you can take credit for that too. Hey, that's my wife.
That's right.
Look at that. Look what I picked her. I proposed. I married her. I put a ring on that. Like it's you got to be proud of that. And so I'm telling you, I don't know what else y'all got, but that was pivotal for me, and it was pivotal for me. I think that is so important. So hey, make sure y'all hit that bell, because y'all want to make sure y'all get notified when we keep bringing y'all this good news and resources. So we are nearing the end. But we do. So Tori gave y'all. Tori Snapple facts, right? Tori, she loved the Snapple facts. So we have key questions that we do, Mother. So it's a short round. It's 2 minutes, and I know you got a wealth of knowledge, but we're gonna get to these 3 questions in 2 minutes, right? So you got 2 minutes. We got the little timer here. We won't cheat you out your 2 minutes.
I don't trust y'all, because see, y'all just like me.
Wait a minute.
I don't know about y'all too.
We're not
back there.
It's too much. Oh my goodness. No, look, you got this. You're gonna be able to do it. So guys, we getting ready for key questions. We're gonna drop the questions in the comments too. And audience, we want to hear from you. You can answer as well. But you got it, mother. I know you got it. So the after the first question, I'm gonna start the timer.
Okay.
And then you'll have your 2 minutes to answer the 3 questions, and the audience gonna answer with you. So the first one is, what is something about the work you do that puts a smile on your face? So something about the work you do that puts a smile on your face.
Seeing that I have done something that also puts a smile on somebody else's face.
I love it. See? Question number 2. Looking back over all you've accomplished, and we talked about a lot of it tonight, what would you do, or would you do anything differently?
I would. I'd go back and I'd talk to that little young woman in her 30s and 40s, and I would tell her that what you do now will last for the rest of your life. So some of the things that you say, you can't take back. So watch what you say. I mean, when I was growing up, and not growing up, but when I was out there in the streets, I had one of the foulest mouths. I could hang with the best of them. But as I got older, I learned that a whole lot of those things that actually ticked me off are not as important as they were then. So I would go back and I would tell that young girl that you're going to be okay, but you need to change your attitude about certain things.
Y'all hear that? Okay, let me get the question 3, because I got a chill from that one. Is there anything you do just for you? Is there anything that you do just for you? You do so much for others and community. Is there anything you do just for you?
It's interesting that you would say that, because I say now that I'm on Barbara's time. I retired from the court system. I retired from an entrepreneur court system 18 years, entrepreneur 30 something years, retired from politics for 12 years. And now I'm on Barbara's time. This is my 4th career. Now, this is Barbara's career. I have time now to do what I want to do. If anybody calls me before 10 o'clock in the morning, I call police on them. I
I love it.
I do what I want to do when I want to do. And if I have something to do 2 days a week, then that's too much. I don't like having a deadline now. I guess this is one of the reasons actually that I'm enjoying working on my dissertation, because it's almost like writing a book. The only thing is, writing a book, there's not, with a dissertation, it's got to be in by 2 o'clock, so and so and such and such. So I didn't have those type of curfews, writing a book. But writing my dissertation, I do. So I'm doing things now that Barbara wants to do. So this is Barbara's time.
I love it. Reclaiming your time.
Absolutely.
I know that's right.
Kiana, you must be retired, because let me tell you, Senator, if we put anything on her calendar, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9:59 and 59 seconds, you better not even think about it. I'm just listening. I'm like, wow, this sounds strangely familiar.
I don't go to bed until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
I'm telling you. I'm your spirit child.
Yeah.
Those 4 girls, I'm really your daughter.
Tell Butchie move over. He got 2 more sisters.
Yeah, because that's me. I'm preparing for retirement. My first, I said 50. Now I pushed it up to 55. But with that, I mean, like you said, from the court system and from those things. But when you're doing those things like teaching and education and dissertations, that's not really work. You're retired from those other things. But I'm never going to stop learning, right? Because I'm never going to stop doing things. I'm never going to stop being an entrepreneur. But definitely, when retirement means you want your time to do the things that you do.
I'm about as retired as I ever will be.
I love that. So before we go, because we're nearing the end, please tell us where we can get your books, Like, give us all the information where we can find it. You know, Jerika, if she had her way, she'd be like, meet me on North Avenue. She'll pop open the trunk because she rides hard for her
Yeah.
mother. And I'm a little jealous because I thought Joshua was going to ride hard the same way. He ain't all the way there yet. So help us know, how can we get the books? How can we support you? How can we just do all of those things?
You can get my book on Amazon.com. Uh, or you can go to my website, Barbara, no, that's my email. My website, www.barbararobinson.info. Or get in touch with me, and I'll see that you get them. But as my books are, it's almost about my life. Each one it tells a step in my life. And as Amazon had said, they're putting together what they call moments in time, and that's what my books are, moments in my time. You know, and if someone were to read And Still I Cry, that talks about the things in the early years. But if they would read that, and then through it all, picks up where And Still I Cry left off.
We're going to have to bring you on. So I resonated with And Still I Cry because I was also abused as a child. And you talk about, like the overcoming experience with your stepfather and going through certain things. But even being such a young person and having the mindset that this can't be right, this can't be life, like that was pivotal for me. I don't know if you even remember when I got your book, that I got your book the very first time in a community event on North Avenue at the corner of North and Ashburton. I remember because I had a big pimple the size of a Utah on my face, but I was so honored to get the book. And when I cracked it open, I couldn't put it down. So I know, guys, y'all think that we just be pumping up our guests. No, seriously, if we don't subscribe to it, we don't bring them on the show. Senator Robinson is real, like a real person, and you're going to see so much of yourself and your thought processes. For me, it helped me get out of the victim mode. Like I'm no longer that little girl. I made a decision to survive, and I could see myself in you and how you just walk through your journey. And so I just want to say thank you for that. And anybody who's listening, like, I'm not going to be able to relate, baby. You are going to be able to relate if you are 18, 28, 38, 58, 118, because she keeps it so real that you're going to see yourself and parts of your overcoming through her struggle. So thank you for that.
I thank you for that as well. You're absolutely right. Um, that that book has done extremely well. And when I did Through It All, and I had some friends to review it before I let it go, because I do name some names in that book. And as one of my attorney friends said, it's your truth, and can nobody take your truth from you. And I said, okay, then let it go.
Release.
I can't wait to write a tell-all book. I'm gonna be putting all kinds of names, and Antonia and Jamaica. Oh wait, we gonna get real in the book. My mother said, please wait for some of these people to die. I don't want to. Well, listen, guys, I'm Tori Rose. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Tori Rose the Connector. Please connect with me. If you did not see, my client intake opened on yesterday. I thank God for blessing my business. We've been around for 5 years now. I also give homage to my grandmother, who passed away 30 years ago yesterday. And so my promise to her was that I would keep on moving and keep on grinding. And so through Theo, which stands for Together Helping Each Other Overcome, we're providing training solutions, career coaching, life coaching. We have a program for you. So if you don't know about it, get with it. You can find the JOT form on Facebook or Instagram. It really takes 5 minutes or less. Fill out the form and let's have a conversation, and let's get you in the program that you need to take you from surviving to thriving. Kiana, how can we find you?
Surviving and thriving. No, you can you can find me on all social media platforms at Kiana B. Jones. And you can find us, The Connected Corner, on Instagram, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're watching right now. Go ahead over and hit the bing, ding, 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 so you can get notified when we go live.
Awesome. And Mother, we got about 40 seconds. We're going to give you the final word like Jerry Springer.
I am just so honored to be a guest on your show. And when you're talking about connections and you're talking about things that actually do need to be done. And I just, those who are listening, my thoughts, they've been talking about you, Jerika. She did, Jerika.
Hey, girl.
Don't let your condition be your conclusion. And there's one more, that you only go around once in life, and this is not a practice run. So don't make excuses for not doing what it is that you want to do, because excuses are tools of incompetence used to build monuments of nothing.
And you start low, aim high, strike fire, then retire.
My daughter knows me too well.
I like that. Say it again. Tell her, say it a little loud. She ain't gonna put her face back on the camera, but say it louder, because some of us take notes. And so Kiana and I are writing notes. So say it again, Jerika.
Start low, aim high, strike fire, then retire.
Woo, God. And on that note, this has been another terrific Tuesday here at the Connected Corner. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Make sure you are back next week. We have another dynamic, fantastic guest who's going to come on. We're still in the vein of relationships. By the time this series is over, you should be empowered, emboldened, and free to start low, aim high, strike fire, then retire. We love you guys. Peace. Be real. It's the Connected Corner. See y'all next Tuesday.
Good night. Thank y'all.
Thank you.